Thanks for listening to Guidance in Recovery. I'm Keegan Reed, and every week I speak with guests to honestly explore recovery, sobriety, the struggles that come with it, and find things that help us in our recovery journeys. Today on Guidance in Recovery, we welcome back Gretchen Schoser, or G-Rex. She's a suicide attempt survivor, 988 advocate, and a late-in-life entrepreneur. We're tearing down the myths of recovery and discussing why it is never too late to reinvent your soul. Stick around for an insightful episode on how to help your extroverted friends. Just got to ask right off the bat, what myth is it that you like to help bust whenever you're dealing with people's wellness and mental health space, or the shit that goes on in our heads?
The myth I want to bust is that extroverts do get depressed.
Ooh.
I am a 100% true extrovert and an empath, and nobody knew how depressed I was. Absolutely nobody knew, because people didn't ask the right questions.
Oh.
People didn't realize that, I was hiding and that life is difficult. But, the problem is that as extroverts, we all wear this really happy-go-lucky mask. And we don't show the typical signs of depression.
Oof.
And so without having the right information at their fingertips, people don't even know what is going on in our own lives.
Oof. Yeah, that's a really good myth to bust, because I think you're spot on. If you don't know what to look for in someone or recognize it maybe even in yourself, what can you do about that, right? So why don't we explore that? Like, what separates a extroverted person that's being depressed versus the typical depression, like in clinical stuff?
Okay, so, think of me as an extrovert. I always got in trouble for, talking in class, being like the class clown. At work, I was the person that everybody came to. I was the problem solver. But all those times, I would show up with a smile on my face. And people would assume that everything was fine with me, but they wouldn't ask they would ask very short questions like, how are you doing? Okay, my typical response would be, I'm living the dream.
Oof.
But in my head, I wasn't living the dream, because in my head, all I wanted to do was be done. So a great way to check in on your extroverted friends and be like, hey, you've been doing a lot lately for everyone, but how are you actually doing?
Okay.
Take that time to ask that question where we actually have to answer it.
Oof.
Because 9 times out of 10, we're going to tell you everything is just fine.
Oh.
And then, you also need to not just talk to the person, but you need to notice what they're doing.
Okay.
Are they not being as socially active as they used to be? Is our humor a little bit darker? I mean, I know that my humor got super dark. Canceling plans at the last minute. Before my depression, I would go and do everything. But once I got super depressed, I just kind of checked out. But nobody realized it because they didn't think anything was wrong.
Okay. And
I was not the fun one.
Then here's a question, though. Do you feel like you kind of brought that on yourself because you wore the mask all the time? Or do you think that society just has a bad habit of really not seeming like they actually care about other people?
It's a little bit of both.
Okay.
I mean, for me, I couldn't figure out what was going on with me. I was 59 and a half at the time. I'd never felt that way before. But a lot of really horrible things happen in a really short period of time.
Okay.
And so for part of me, I felt shame and I felt weak because I couldn't fix myself, but I didn't understand what was going on. I couldn't find my voice.
Yeah.
So I didn't feel like I wanted to burden anybody with what was going on with me, because as an empath, I was too busy taking care of everybody else's shit and not taking care of myself. And, the bottom line was that was it. I didn't take care of me. I took care of everybody else. Everybody else was good. They had some place to cry. They had some place to vent. Me, I just kept shoving it down until it absolutely had zero place to go.
Okay. Oof.
And in society, here's the problem. As we were going through school, none of us took a mental health class. None of us. Okay, so people don't know how to become emotionally available. They don't know how to become empathetic. Their emotional intelligence, based on however they grew up or whatever job they look, it all depends on those things. But as a society, we need to start checking in on people more often.
Yeah.
Especially now, the world is literally on fire. And if you have friends out there that are a little checked out, whether an introvert or an extrovert, check in on them. I started a Sunday check-in with text messages. So I reach out to people via text on Sundays with a message. And they don't have to answer me back, but if they can send me a little heart or a flower and just let me know that they're doing okay, at least people feel seen.
Yeah.
And that's a huge part of what's going on in the world is people want to feel seen and feel heard and feel validated. And I mean, I got all those things. I did feel seen. I did feel validated. But I was just so damn depressed.
Yeah.
And it was really it was the hardest time of my life because I didn't want to bring anybody else down. And, there was a lot going on in my personal life and my work life at that same time. And I just think that if people had maybe asked a little bit more pointed questions or, just checked in on me a little bit more frequently, they may have been able to pick it up. But, if you're an extrovert out there, can I just tell you, take that damn mask off? Because at the end of the day, it doesn't do you any good. It hurts you more than it helps you.
Yeah, that is for sure. And I mean, you bring up a good point, though. And first of all, I just want to say thank you for making it through all of that and for spreading that kind of message and even doing that Sunday check-in thing, because that's something that I've tried to kind of do in the past, but I think I'm going to start doing it actually for real, a lot more invested in it, because it was one of those things that reaching out to people that I've not talked to in a long time, it's always kind of I wonder if they're hopefully still alive. I need to check on that. But whenever it comes to wearing that mask and having people ask you those kind of pointed questions, do you think that had someone asked you the right question at the right time, that it the floodgate would have broke and you just would have had the breakdown before you got to thinking about ending it all?
I think so.
You think so?
But, I think that people were trying to also be a little tender with me at that same time because I had also, made a huge career decision. I was taking an early retirement from work.
Yeah.
And, that after 15 years at the same company, I was hurting in ways that people didn't really understand. Yeah. This goes out to the people that are thinking about retiring, or if you have... if you're a manager and somebody in your company is retiring, I don't know, maybe spend a little extra time with them, because I will tell you, one of the biggest hits to me is they didn't slowly take stuff away from me. It was pretty abrupt. Ugh. And so I signed my paperwork in October. I didn't go out until April. But all my stuff that I would do day in and day out was being slowly taken away from me. And if you have 8 hours a day to sit around and not do shit, I mean, it starts to eat at you, because for me, I'm I'm highly productive. I'm the go-to person. I'm a subject matter expert in my field. And to, wake up every morning and realize that you don't have shit to do all day, it's kind of depressing.
Yeah, kind of your purpose got stolen away from you, and there's not really anything you can do about it, huh?
Yeah, and I would do things that were so out of character for me, incredibly out of character. If you want to listen to a really messed up episode of the podcast, and this was 3 weeks prior to me trying to take my life. Go listen to season 1, episode 3. It is the most fucked up trip to New York City. It's the drunkest I've ever gotten in my entire life.
Oh, boy.
Blackout drunk.
Oof.
I broke my nose. I lost my phone in an Uber. I had taken Uber to Brooklyn in the middle of the night. it 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 was messed up, but like people still didn't like see that. They didn't see that side of me because they're so used to see me be the life of the party and be fun and answer questions, even though in the back of my head I was like, just go the fuck away, because like I don't want to deal with you either. Like I don't want to deal with the voices in my head. I don't want to deal with the shit that's going on. But at the same time, I didn't know how to fix it.
Yeah.
And you know, that call to 988, not only did it save my life, but it opened up a whole shitload of things that like I just needed to get out. And like for a lot of people, you know, talk therapy may not work for them. Talk therapy has worked for me. Thankfully, I have the same therapist I had 3 years ago. Wasn't easy. I had to speed date them to get the right one. You know, because not all therapists are made of the same material. But that's what helped me, and that helped me to open up and become more of an advocate for mental health. Because if it can happen to me, it can happen to anybody.
Yeah.
And, you know, when I finally opened up onto social media, people were afraid. They were terrified because they didn't recognize the signs. And they, you know, for me, like life of the party, you know, love to laugh, love to play. It was heartbreaking for them that they didn't realize that something was terribly wrong with me.
Yeah.
And that, you know, that makes people really think about, like, what could we do better? And, you know, other things is like, if you know an extrovert and they're not in a fun mood, it's okay for them to say no. That's called boundaries, okay? Boundaries are, like, really important to us.
Yep.
Didn't really learn about them until I was, you know, almost 60, but hey, we're good. We learned. And like another thing is like if we come to you and we want to have a really deep conversation or we just need a vent, 9 times out of 10 we just need you to listen to us. Don't be like, give me your Sunday sermon, okay? A lot of times it's just us wanting to air out what's going on in our head, vent, kind of get it off our chest. And if we want advice, we're going to ask you for advice.
Yeah.
But like, don't be an armchair therapist, because, you know, it's like being a Monday, you know, a quarterback on the, what is that? The Monday morning quarterback. Don't don't try and, don't force a conversation.
Okay. Yeah. Don't try to fix everyone's problems. It's kind of like calling a plumber for your roof that started leaking. Like, they might both include water, but plumbing and roofing is not the same thing.
It's not the same thing. And like, if you're in like a social moment, maybe a work gathering or something like that, and you're really good friends with this person, and you notice that they're not acting the way that they normally would, maybe pull them to the side and say, hey, is there something I can help you with? You're not your normal self.
Yeah.
Okay. Most people, because I will say it for myself. I got mad when people ask me, like, what can I do for you? I'm like, how about leave me the fuck alone?
Yeah.
Okay. That's what you can do. Is like, leave me the fuck alone. But as I started to get better after lots and lots and lots of therapy, I'm way more open about how I feel.
Okay.
So if I'm down, people know where I sit down. I don't hide behind a keyboard. I don't hide behind the computer. I don't hide behind my microphone. If I'm not happy, people are gonna know. And it's made me feel better because I could actually talk about it. And like one of the best things you can do is just be consistent in checking in with them. Don't make it intense. Don't make it all weird and shit. Just, you know, be consistent with your check-ins, kind of like with my Sunday check-ins. You know, because consistency builds safety. If we feel safe with you, we're going to open up to you.
Okay.
But for people out there that don't have somebody to talk to, please, 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 if you are in crisis, pick up the phone and call 988. I am telling you, they are trained, they are compassionate, they're helpful, and they'll get you to the person that can help you the most.
Yeah. Yeah. And thank you for bringing up that 988 because it's super important. I hope a lot of people actually utilize it. And I mean, with the suicide rates and everything lately, it's just one of those things that I don't know if 988 could expand fast enough either. But I hope that everyone gets taken care of as if they were their own person. And it sounds like that's exactly what they do. Yeah. So.
And, you know, as I was coming out of my fog, you know, more and more people reached out to me.
Yeah.
Because now they didn't feel so terrified and alone in their own journey. And that's really part of why we started the podcast. It's because we want to normalize these conversations. If I could have a mental health breakdown at 59 and a half, it can happen to anybody.
Yeah. Yeah. And,
you know,
it's scary, you know, because, I mean, after 59 and a half years, you'd think that you'd have a handle on life, right?
Yeah, you would think. But, like, you know, nobody teaches you about the mental shit that creeps up on you, right? Yeah. They don't teach you about brain chemicals that are all fucking messed up. They don't teach you how to set boundaries, right? That's something that I had to actually listen to podcasts, and we've interviewed tons of like boundary coaches and things. And you know, as you listen to these people, shit starts to click. Yeah. You're like, fuck. Wow, why the fuck didn't I learn that like 2,500,000 years ago? But, you know, I want people to know that it's okay to ask for help. It really is. And there's no shame. There's no weakness in it. Yeah. And that's what I felt. I felt shame and weakness because I couldn't fix myself. Here's somebody who can like fix a lot of stuff, right? Yeah. When it comes to like tech stuff and things like that, I can fix that. I can help fix people. I'm always somebody's shoulder to cry on, but self-care and self-love, they're not just like little code words, okay? It's not like a gimmick saying. Yeah. Like, if you are not fucking taking care of yourself, you absolutely cannot take care of anybody else. No. You may think you're doing a great job of it, but at the end of the day, you're just hurting yourself because if you're an empath, you're taking on more and more shit that you shouldn't be dealing with, okay? No. Like, deal with your own crap first before you start piling on. Yeah. And, you know, if you have friends out there that are like that like to pile on and pile on and pile on and pile on, I don't know, maybe check them out because they're probably piling on so they don't have to deal with all that crazy that's going on in their head.
Yeah, that's a really good point because I was right there too. You know, I would definitely help out other people before helping out myself because it was like, no, I'm not going to go down that scary closet. We're going to go over to this person's basement and help them clean it out, and then we'll just take some of their belongings and toss it in mine and just call it good. But it was not that way.
It's not that way because it starts to weigh on you after a while, and then everything starts to come to light.
Yeah.
You know, but I'm thankful for my journey because it's taught me a lot. Like, could I go through that again? Probably. I don't ever want to go through that again. Yeah. I don't. That's why I'm super open and I like really stick with my therapy and I stick with the things that are important to me. But I'm always really good about checking in on people because, you know, Keegan and I both said, you know, the world right now is shitty. Yeah. And I will tell you that love is greater than hate. So if you love your friends enough, reach out to them. Yeah. Make sure that they're doing okay. I don't care if they're introverted, extroverted, a combination of both. Check in on your people because things are really tough right now, and the suicide rates are through the roof, and people they're just sad. Yeah. It's a really depressing time right now for so many people, and you know, kindness goes a really long way. It costs you nothing to be nice. No. Absolutely nothing to be nice. Nope. But if you don't have anything nice to say, maybe don't fucking say anything at all. Okay, like walk away, mind your own business, like, because you absolutely have no idea what's going on inside of our lives because you're not walking in our shoes. Yeah.